Hi friends, in previous video I explained you about sketch based features. In this video I will be explaining you the dress up features and some sketch based features. Okay, in dress up features we have many options, and again in first option itself we have 5 more options. Okay, so first option is the fillet. Okay, so in fillet we have different type of fillets: edge fillet, variable radius fillet, chordal fillet, face to face fillet, and tritangent fillet. Okay, so fillet is a surface, okay, which is used to remove the sharp edges. You can see here, so when two faces intersect each other, it will create a sharp edge. So this may lead to damage the other parts. Okay, in large assemblies and all, if sharp edges are present, so it may damage, because this sharp edge is acts as a knife. Okay, so it will be very sharp, so this may cause damage to other parts, other neighbor parts. Okay, so in fillet, okay, we have options to change the radius. Here we can select the sharp edges. Okay, and we have some selection modes, and we have some other options: conic parameters, trim ribbons, and here also we have some options. I will explain you all options one by one. Okay, so let me explain the first option with the selection of the fillet edges. So here you can select the individual sharp edges like this. You can keep on select the sharp edges, and here you can give the radius for the sharp edge like this, so it will create a fillet. Okay, even you can select the surface instead of selecting the sharp edges, because if you want fillet on all the edges, you can directly select the surface and you say okay, it will create the edge fillet. Okay, the next option is the tangency option. Okay, I'll explain you this with another example model which I have already built, because here if it is shown, if the model is already built, so it will be easy to explain everything. Okay, see, I have one model here. Select the edge fillet option. Okay, now it is tangency. The selection mode is tangency. You can see as soon as I click on this edge, it will pass through this surface edge, here, this edge, and it will go to this edge also, and it will stop here. That means with the selection mode, tangency is activated, the fillet will pass to the next surface. That means here you can see, for this edge this is tangent, and for this edge this is tangent. So when I select this edge for creating fillet, it will transfer to this edge also. Again, since these two are tangent, again it will transfer to this edge also, but here it will stop as there is no tangency here. Okay, so that is the option. Okay, so first option is tangency option, so it will create fillet like this. It will stop here, again it will stop here because there is no tangency. Okay, now again I will select minimal mode. Now you can see here the tangent edges will be replaced by normal edges. Okay, the associated elements with such edges will be removed. That means all tangency portion will be removed. You can see now only one is selected. You can give the fillet to only this edge. Okay, and here you can see it is transferred this side, because just to create the smoothness for the fillet. Okay, this is about the two type of selection modes, that is one tangency and another is minimal. Now I'll explain the intersection with this model. Select this. Now select the intersection option. Okay, you can select this. Okay, you can see wherever this part is intersecting, you can see it's intersecting here, it's intersecting here, it's intersecting here and here. It will create the fillet. you can see here. So like this it creates the fillet. Okay, so this option is just where the intersection is there. Okay, but here we can see one more option, intersection with features. So the difference between these two options is intersection is between the positive features. Okay, because this is also positive feature, this is also a positive features, and next is intersection with the features. Okay, I'll select this. Okay, I'll select the object to fillet. I'll select this object. Okay, next the selected features are these two features. Preview. I'll give 2 mm of radius. You can see it has created fillet at this location, at this location, at this location, and here. It has not created any fillet in this location and all, because this is a hole. Okay, so these two features are hole. Okay, so it intersects the part in this location and in this location, so it creates fillet only at 2 locations. Okay, similarly this hole intersects here and intersects here, so it will create fillet at 2 locations. And this is about the fourth option. Okay, now let me explain you the next option, the conic parameter. Okay, so this is one type of fillet. Like see, when you can see here, observe the shape of the fillet. Now this is the conic parameter is 0.1. Preview. You can see here the shape of the fillet itself is different. Okay, and next is the maximum value for this is should be lower than 1, and values and it should be like, see, I can give 0.9 and say okay. See, like this it will create. So that that shows if the value of the conic parameter, okay, is 0.5. Okay, when the value of the conic parameter is 0.5, it creates a parabola. Okay, when the value is between 0 and 0.5, okay, for example 0.25 I'll give. Okay, the resulting curve will be an arc of a ellipse. Okay, so you can see here the this shape is, see, this line, its edge itself is one arc of the ellipse. It looks like a arc of the ellipse. Okay, when the value varies between 0.5 to 0.5 above 0.5 and less than 1, it creates hyperbola. Okay, so this is about the next option called the conic parameters. So usually it's not required to select. If it is required, then only we can use, because sometimes our part needs to be done with the conic parameters only. So at that time we need to use this option. Okay, one more thing I need to tell you. So here you can see there is another option called conic edges to keep. So I'll explain this, what is this edges to keep. But if conic parameters are selected, like if it is activated, you cannot use edges to keep option, and there are some other options in face-to-face fillet also, that is hold curve and spine options. Okay, also conical fillet do not handle twist configurations. Okay, if a twist is detected, then the fillet operations will be failed. Okay, So twist will be like if the part is very irregular and very complex, then only you will see the difficult these kind of problems like twisting and all. Okay, so and almost one more thing, if the fillet surface curvature is lower than support curvature, fillet surface relimitations may fail. So in this case we need to decrease the conic parameter value. So you will come to know if you use in real projects about this conic parameters. Okay, so next I'll go to the trim ribbon option. Okay, let me draw two circles here. This is just for reference. Okay, so simply I'll create node dimension will be given here. I'll give just 5 mm I'll give. Okay, so because I need to give the fillet also, for that I'll pad this. Okay, like this it is created now. I'll select this option again. Okay, I'll select this edge and this edge I'll select. You know the gap between these two parts, okay, that is 5 mm. Okay, I'll give this radius as 5 mm and switch off this conic parameter. I'll give preview and I'll say okay. You can see you are getting one error. Warning, at least one ribbon cannot be performed correctly. That means you can see here this fillet, that is 5 mm radius, and this is also 5 mm radius. Okay, this is overlapping with another fillet. So here there will be intersection in this location. Okay, so if this portion is not trimmed, okay, it will not allow, CATIA will not allow you to create the fillet. So we can choose the trim ribbon options and say preview and okay. So here the fillet will be created like this. See, this portion here, the intersection, this is the intersection line of the two fillets. Okay, so from this to some portion of this fillet and some portion of this fillet, it will trim and it will create the fillet. Okay, this is about the trim ribbon options. Okay, I'll delete this. Okay, I'll go to the next option. Okay, the next option is here we have is keep edges. I'll explain you that also. Okay, I'll select this. I'll give some 7 mm radius, preview, and okay. You can see there is some variation in this fillet. This is actually straight line earlier. See, it's cut here and some other irregular line is created here. You can check this. Okay, just a minute. See here, this is line, but when you move here, this is line. That means this fillet and this surface has intersected and created one more line here. But I don't want this line. I want only actual edge of the surface. From here to here, I want a straight line. So how to do that? So to do that, you need to select the keep edges. Okay, so I want to keep this edge as it is. Select this, preview. Okay, now we can see there is no irregularity. This is a single line actually. We can select this option. You see, this is line only. It may be, so you can see here it has intersected here, but still this layered edge is same. This is in the same line. So there is no difference between this line and this line. Only here it is broken. That's it. But this line it is kept as it is. Okay. You can use this in many cases. You can see here. I'll show you one more thing. From here to here the distance is 10.291. But I want radius of 15 mm, for example 15 mm. I'll select this wave, okay, but I want this edge also. This edges should be like that only. I'll select this, select the edge, okay. You can see this edge is also there, plus I got 15 mm of fillet. So that is the use of edges to keep option, okay. I hope you understood till what I explained, okay. All these things they are very easy, okay. The next we have is limiting element, okay. For that I have one more model here, okay. Select this, select the edge, okay. I want to give fillet here, preview, okay, but I want to divide this fillet. Now if I select this, it is continuous, but I want to divide at this plane. How to do that? Just a simple method. With the use of one plane you can do this. You see here, it's like this. So this plane will limit the fillet till here, so either on this side or on other side. So you can swap it with the help of this arrow. That's it. This is what the limiting element is, okay. So you can limit the fillet till a certain plane, okay. Now we have one more option called parting element, okay. So this is actually continuous. I'll show here itself. So this is actually not much useful, okay. You see, this is a continuous thing. Now I'll select this as a parting element. You can see here this is parted here, this location, okay. One edge is created here, okay, but it's exact usage of this I have not come across this, but with the help of, it's similar to the limiting element, okay. So you can part it here in this location, okay. Even I'll do for this fillet also. You can see here, so it has created parting at this center, okay. So this is about the different options, and last option we have here is blend corner, okay. So you can use I can use this also. I'll show this portion later, that is different and this is different, okay. You can see here, if you see this portion, so here the fillet is not so smooth, okay. So it has simply created the one fillet, but it's not so smooth. To create very smooth fillet, you need to select the blend corner option. So here what we can do is right click here, create by vertex or create by edges. So there is no difference between these two. The main difference is, the only one difference is, either you can select the corner, this corner, just by one point or 3 intersecting edges, okay. If you want I can show both. See, I have, okay, I'll select this. You need to select the filleting edges also. Fillet by edges. After selecting the fillet edges, now then you need to right click and select this option, okay. Preview. It's creating some ribbons as the value is more, I'll give 5 mm. Okay, forget about these portions because this has taken the tangent continuity, so this portion is no need to worry. Okay, I'll go for only this portion, or else I'll delete other. See here, you can see the difference here. In this corner where 3 fillets are meeting, the corner fillet here is very smooth, but in this case you can see the difference here. This is not so smooth, this is very smoothly created. So the blend corner option is used to create a smoother fillet at the corners. Okay, that is the main use of this blend corner option. So this is it about the edge fillet option. Okay, the next option here we have is variable radius fillet. So this is also very simple. Okay, so the difference between these two are only the radius. Okay, we can vary the radius value, that is we can give the different values in variable fillet, but in case of edge fillet the radius is constant, so we cannot change the radius. Now select edge fillet option. Okay, select one edge. Now we can see dimensions are appearing here in both the locations, and there are 2 points highlighted here in green. Okay, one is this point and this point. So now I want 10 mm radius here and 5 mm radius here. Okay, I'll double click this and I'll give 10 mm. Okay, preview, you can see the variation here. So this is how you create a variable fillet. Okay, here also you have minimal and the tangency option. This is same as the option which I explained in edge fillet option. I'm not going to explain this again because this, if I keep on explaining or repeat the same things again and again, so it will take more time to finish the course itself. Because just for Sketcher and Partisan I have made almost 6 to 7 videos. Still I have not covered example parts, so it will be another session. Okay, so I'll try to cover all the topics as fast as possible, and I'll cover most of the topics, maybe 90% of the topics I'll cover. Okay, so even Sketcher and Partisan are actually less compared to other workbenches, because here we have some less features, but in shape design, sheet metal, drafting and all, we have a lot of options. Okay, so which may take more time to explain. Okay, even very good examples are also needed for that, so I need to prepare all the example files for that, so it will take more time. But learning this CATIA complete CATIA courses, it's very worth. Okay, so there is no doubt about it. So without hesitation you can enroll to my Udemy tutorial, so no need to worry. So you will get the complete knowledge of CATIA when course is completed. Okay, so I'll continue with this variable fillet radius fillet definition. Okay, you can see here in variation we have only 2 points. I can add one more point. Okay, you can right click here and you can select the option create point. Okay, so on this edge itself I want to create, so I will create at some midpoint here. You can select, so directly it will create here. Okay, you can see one more radius is appearing here now. Okay, double click here, I'll give some 15 mm. Okay, preview. Okay, you can see the variation of the radius. Okay, now you can see here one more option called cubic and linear. This is cubic, that's why the shape of this fillet is like this. I'll select linear option. You can see the change in the shape of the fillet. So this is the variation type. Okay, so we have two types of variations, that is one is cubic and another is the linear option. And here these options are same, conic parameter, trim ribbons, and even here we have the same options. Okay, and this is about the variable radius fillet. Okay, and there is one more option. Okay, in variable radius fillet we have one more extra option called circle fillet. Okay, so I'll explain that with the example. Okay, I have created one part here like this. Okay, so you just see the difference between the fillets. Okay, that is with the circle fillet and without circle fillet. I have selected this and I have given fillet radius of 10 mm and said okay. You can see the fillet here now. Okay, this is a cylindrical fillet we have. Okay, and now with the use of this circle fillet, okay, so you need to select one spine. For that I have created one line and I'll select this. You can see the difference here. Okay, so there is a little bit difference between the two fillets, the previous fillet without circle fillet option selected and with the circle fillet option selected. Okay, so the main use of the circle fillet so is when sometimes there may be times when you need to fillet consecutive edges with no tangent continuity. Okay, so for example here we have some tangent continuity. Okay, so here for example see here, so this edge has tangent continuity. Okay, but sometimes there will not be tangent continuity here. Okay, so at that time, so you want to treat as a single edge logically. Okay, you want to treat this as a single edge. Okay, so at that time you need to use the circle fillet option. Okay, I think you understood my point. Okay, so here see this is a tangent curve. Okay, so when you click on this everything will pass there, but there are cases where these edges are not tangent to each other. Okay, so in such cases, so to make this as a single fillet, to give smoothness here, so we use the circle fillet option. So it's not a big thing to learn. Okay, so if we have some such cases you will come to know. Okay, so as soon as you start working on and practice CATIA, so you will come to know each and every options and what is the use of these features. So main thing is you need to practice. So practice makes man perfect. So you need to practice each and every options. Go inside these features and explore each and every options here. Okay, if you explore all the options, so you easily will understand and you can use all the options. So the two fillet types I have explained. The next option is a chordal fillet. Okay, so here we have no much difference here. Okay, so I can show you. Okay, I have selected these. Here also you can change the value. Okay, so here, but in this case instead of defining the radius you will define the chord length. Okay, this chord length is give 20 mm. Okay, you can see here instead of fillet radius you will define the chord length. From here to here the chord length you can see the image of this option itself. Okay, if you can see here, observe what is chord length, you'll come to know. Okay, so and the remaining options are same, limiting, all these things are same. Okay, so this is about this option. Instead of radius, you will define the chord length. The next option we have is face to face fillet. Okay, face to face fillet. So here, instead of selecting an edge, you will select two faces. Okay, you can define the fillet radius here, and you will select the two faces which you want to create the fillet. You can select the first face and select the second face, preview. So okay, this is how you will create fillet. Okay, so here also we have the same kind of options. Okay, so here we have one more option, extra option, hold curve and spine. So this option is used to create the variable radius face to face fillet. Okay, so for that I have built one model here. I'll explain you that. Here is a model. Okay, so now I'll select the face to face option. See here, you can, this is one face, this is one face. Okay, but here there is no continuity between the face. That means here tangents is given, but still this is somewhat irregular thing. Now I want fillet here, but with the variable radius. Okay, I'll select this as a hold curve and this as a spine. Okay, sorry. I will select this line as a hold curve and this as a spine. Okay, you can see a variable radius fillet is created with the help of the face to face fillet, and in which we have created a fillet. You can see this is a spine. Okay, this is hold curve. It will hold fillet to pass like this. Okay, and it will, this spine will just guide this fillet. Okay, so like this it will be created, and this will decide the, this hold curve will decide the shape of the fillet. You can see here clearly. So again I will show you how to do that. Select the option. Okay, select the faces. You can select this face and this face also. Any faces you can select. Okay, all these faces are tangent. Okay, now go and select hold curve, then spine, preview, just say okay. So this is how you will create variable radius fillet in face to face fillet option. Okay, this is about face to face fillet. Next we have tritangent fillet. Okay, so in tritangent fillet you will choose three faces. Okay, so this option is common, so I'm not going to explain this, so you only will explore and you learn this. This is the same option. This will limit the fillet to a certain plane or some object like plane point or any other surfaces. Okay, so here let me create one tritangent fillet. Select the fillet option. Okay, select the faces. Here you must select the faces like this. Okay, once you select the two faces, it will ask which face to remove. Okay, I'll select this. I want to remove this face. Okay, so automatically it will create, okay, tangent, so that it will create a fillet, so that the tangent surface, the fillet surface is tangent to this portion, that is the first face and the second face. You can see here. So like this it will create. So it will be almost a complete completely almost the half circle. So like this it will create. Okay, so this is also very useful option. Okay, so this is it about the different fillets. Okay, this is a very important part here. So just keep practicing, because while creating fillets you will get many errors and all. So you need to solve, you must be able to solve all type of errors. Okay, if you practice, then only you can solve the errors. Okay, so this is about the fillets, different type of fillets. Next we have is here chamfer. Chamfer, there is no much difference between fillet and chamfer. Fillet creates a cylindrical surface, but here it removes the material in a triangular way. Okay, I'll select the edge. For example, this is the sharp edge. I want to remove this. Select, preview. So like this, so it will create. Okay, instead of cylindrical surface, it will create a triangular surface. Okay, so here you can see the dimensions. Different type of dimensions are there. There are two type of dimensions. One is length 1 and length angle. Okay, length 1 and angle. Second option is length 1, length 2. Okay, you can see here this is angle. This angle is 45 degree, and the length here, the length 1 will be given either the length from here to here, or from here to here. So if you reverse, the length will be reverse. Okay, so this is the length 5 mm now. Again, if you reverse this is the 5 mm length, and from this line 45 degree will be created like this. So from here to here it will create one line like this. From here again 45 degree towards this direction. So that much portion of the material will be removed. Okay, so here you can give the different angles, and here we have tangency and minimal. This is the same propagation mode like in fillet. Okay, length 2, you will define the two lengths 1 and 10. I'll give. So here angle will be decided by the lengths. Here length 1, length 2. If you reverse, again you can see this. So like this it will be created. Okay, this is about the chamfer option. Okay, next option is draft. Okay, so draft is, so which is these drafts are defined on molded parts to make them easier to remove from the mold. That means it's a tapered portion created on a part. Okay, so that it will be easily removed from the mold. Okay, so how to create the draft? Let's see the options one by one. Okay, simply I have created one model here because it will be easy. I have created a few more models here. Okay, just for the explanation purpose I have created these models. Okay, now let me start with the first option. Okay, the draft angle definition. Okay, so here we have the again two options inside. One is variable and another is constant. So this variable and the last option is same. There is no difference, because variable means variable angle draft. Okay, and then here we have is draft reflect line. So this is the second option. Actually there are only two options. So but to go to the third option we can click here itself. So the same options will be used here. Okay, now let me start. Okay, so I'll select this portion and select this option. Okay, so here we have the faces to draft. So which phase you want to draft? Okay, which phase you want to make taper? Okay, if you see here, so these all the faces are perpendicular to each other, but when we give draft, to certain faces, so the face will not be perpendicular to the adjacent face, so it will create angle between the two faces. Okay, so I'll select the faces to draft as this face. I want to create some tangent tapered surface here. Okay, and for this you need to define the neutral elements. Okay, so I want to draft this face, and with respect to this face, okay, I want to create a tapered surface here with respect to this face. That means, see, it's creating 5-degree angle. Okay, taking this as reference. Okay, now I can see here preview. Okay, okay, yes, you can see the difference here. I'll show you in the left view. You can see 5 degrees created here. Again I can increase here itself. I will increase to 10 degree. You can see previously it was just 0, it was 90 degree. Okay, all the faces were 90 degree. Now I created for 25 degree. So if the angle is positive, it will add the material. If the angle is negative, what it will do? It will remove the material. Okay, so this is how you will create a draft. Okay, in draft we have many other options, like so here we have propagation mode, smooth and none. Okay, and we have pulling direction. Okay, and what is pulling direction? Okay, so pulling direction corresponds to the reference from which draft faces are defined. Okay, we have seen the arrow mark when I clicked here and selected neutral element as this. You can see the arrow. This is the direction of pulling the draft. Okay, this is the pulling direction. Okay, so which corresponds to the reference from which, this is the reference from which the draft faces are defined. From this is the reference, okay, from which the draft faces are defined. Okay, and we have the draft angle here. Okay, and we have neutral element. So this is a neutral element. Okay, we can change the neutral element also. Okay, it's not required to select this as neutral element. We can make some other neutral elements also, but you cannot see. Now I have selected this as neutral element, it will give you error. Okay, so I'll deselect this. Now we'll try this. Okay, but we need to change the pulling direction also this time. Like this also I can create. Okay, let me give some fillet to this edge. Okay, some 15 I'll give. Okay, I'll select this option. Now I'll select this face. You can see this is propagating somewhere. Okay, preview. So like this also it will be created. And we have some more options here. I want to draft this face and this face. I want this as a neutral element. Okay, each I'll give 15 degrees I'll give. Preview. It's creating some draft there. I want draft on this side of this plane and the other side of this plane. So here's in center portion in between these two planes I don't want draft. So how to do that? So for that you need to select the limiting elements. You can see here, you can see many number of limiting elements. Okay, I'll select limiting elements as the first one is this one and the second one is this one. Okay, now this is going to give you error. So I'll change the direction of this. You can see if there is no line here, so there will be error. You can see draft is created in between, but I want on the other sides of this plane. Okay, I'll select this, I'll reverse both the directions. Okay, you can see the draft like this. So this is how you can limit the draft. Okay, so you came to know the use of this limiting element. Okay, this is just to limit the draft. Now here we have one more option called parting element. So parting element is nothing but, you can see this draft is created from here to till the bottom. Okay, now I want draft somewhere in between these two surfaces. Okay, I'll create one plane in this location. Okay, let me create one plane. Before that I'll measure what is the height from here to here. So 31 is there. I'll create at some 16 mm. Create one plane at 16 mm on top side. I'll select this, I'll double click on that and select this define parting element as this one, preview. Okay, you can see the draft is stopped here itself. Okay, that means this draft is parted here. Okay, so you can divide it here. This is actually limiting. You are limiting to only serve some part of the surface in one direction. In this direction you are limiting, and another direction you have the define. If you define the parting element, you can control the draft in another direction also. So like this you can part the draft. Okay, even you can select, see, neutral element as this plane. Okay, now you can see the draft is created here, created from this portion. You can see here. So I'll create in a reverse direction. Okay, so here you need to change the pulling direction. Now let me see what it will do. See here, so like this it does. Okay, now one more thing, I'll select parting element is equal to neutral element, preview. Okay, so the meaning of this is, here parting element, what is a parting element here? This plane. So when you select parting is equal to neutral, this option is going to deactivate, because you are selecting neutral element as this plane. Okay, which I defined this as a parting element previously. Okay, so neutral element itself, from neutral element itself it's going to create one draft, and even the parting element is also same, so it will not show you again about the parting element. Now we have one more option, draft both sides. I'll select this, preview. Okay, you can see the draft is created on both sides here. Okay, see, from on top side also it's created, and bottom side also it has created the draft. So if you don't select this, only one side it will create. If you select this option, draft both sides, you can see the draft on both sides. You can easily create some of the parts just by creating the draft on the part itself. Okay, I can show you the examples also to create some parts with the help of draft. Okay, so this is about these options. Okay, here I can explain you the variable fillet also now itself. Sorry, it's not variable fillet, it's variable draft. Select this, select the face to be drafted, and I'll select the neutral element. Okay, we have two angles defined here. Now I'm going to edit the one of the angle, and 30 degree I'm going to make it, and preview and say okay. You can see this draft is now variable. You can see here. Okay, it's created as a surface. I'll change the color and you can show you see here some surface kind of draft has been created. Okay, you can add one more point here in the middle, and I can define this as some 20 degree, and this has some let me check 45 degrees possible or not, because it has its own limits. It's possible, yeah. See here, so like this we will create. That is about the draft with the variable angles. So even though this option is also same, you can see the options here. See, you can toggle this. So this is about so usually normally it will be created as square. Okay, draft form will be square. Whatever the draft forms I have created, it will be square. Okay, you can see the surfaces are very square, but when you want to create a draft on some cylindrical objects, you need to choose this option. Okay, so I'll explain you that later. Before that, I'll explain you another option, draft reflect line. So draft reflect line is here. I'll explain you that now. Before that, I'll explain you this option also here. So here cone and square also I'll explain you. Okay, so by default it is cone, and the next is a square option. Okay, so here so I'll change this part. Okay, so I'll make some different kind of part here. Like this I have created. I'll replace this. Okay, I'll create a tri-tangent fillet for this, so that it will create a smoother surface here. Okay, I have created one tri-tangent. You can see to create a draft on this side. Okay, so I'm going to select the draft face is this one, but here if you see the pulling direction, this is the pulling direction, but here so it's very difficult to create draft like this. It will give you error. Okay, let me check with this option review. It's still giving error. We need to define the parting element as this one. Let me check this. So because I'm not be, let me wait. I'll change the model again. New model I'll create. Okay, I'll mirror this with respect to this axis. Mirror, exit. I'll increase the height of this. I will create a pad, some 25 mm and a mirrored side, and I'll give you tri-tangent here. So only one face we can select maybe. Yeah, let me check the draft now. Okay, the option, okay, sorry, so I'll change the pulling direction as direction. Let me check. Give 30-degree angle. Okay, it's saying that neutral element is too steep. Okay, so that is decrease the parameter value or change the operand or change the draft form. So it's saying, so it's very too steep, it's saying, so I need to change part structure. We try again. Face to be drafted and neutral element. The pulling direction, I want this direction to be reversed. Preview. Change the operand or the faces. Seeing the same thing here again and again. Okay, I have selected only one face. I need to select this face also. Multi faces I need to select. Yes. Now it should create just a minute. Select the face to be drafted and select all the neutral elements. Preview, it's still showing some error. Yes, you can see now. So it has created some draft here, but it's not so smooth. So what we can do is this pulling direction we need to update. Let me select this direction as a pulling direction, and you can see the draft is little bit smooth now. I have given only 5 degree of draft. I'll give 45 degree. See here. So this is how it will be created. It's very smooth now. Okay, so here the normal options will be the cone option. The draft forms in other cases it will be cone, and when you want to create with multiple neutral elements, and all these neutral elements are tangent. Okay, in this case you need to select these square options to create the draft. So like this it will create the draft. So it's about this draft options. Okay, even I explained you the variable angle draft also. So here you can change the angle. Okay, the remaining options remain same, so there is no difference. Okay, that's about the first and the last option. And the next option here we have is a draft reflect line. Okay, for this also I will create one model. Okay, instead of this sketch I'll create one circle of 50 mm radius. 50 mm radius I have created. I'm padding this for 50 mm mirror direction. I'll make it 100. Okay, and I'll give fillet on both edges. Okay, so I'll make it some 15 degree. We create some good fillet. Okay, I'll select this option. Now the other options what we used is the planar surfaces. Here we have cylindrical surface. Okay, let me try how to draft this. I want one part, okay, which is drafted along this z direction. Okay, so but which face to select for drafting? I'll select this face. Okay, let me try. See here, one reflect line is created, red line. So from this the draft will start. Okay, I'll give preview. I'll say okay, it will give you error. Okay, let me check this, and I'll select define the parting element. I'll select this option, preview. Now also you'll get the error. That means it's saying, okay, here the angle is more. Actually it has created only one surface, but still it's not good. I'll create some 10 degrees. So like this you can create the draft with the help of the second option. You can create draft for the cylindrical objects. Okay, but you must give a good angle value because it depends on the size of the cylinder. Okay, and even you need to define the parting element also. Okay, this is how you create drafts. All these are the three different draft types. Okay, so this is it about different forms of drafts. If you have any doubts, you can email me, or you can put message in Udemy. Okay, the next option here we have is shell option. So the what use of this shell option is to create the sheet metal objects. So here you can see this is a complete solid. To create a sheet metal kind of part, so we can use the shell options. So what shell option does is it removes the material and you can add the thickness also. Okay, so here you need to select the faces to remove. I want to remove this face and I want equal thickness of 1 mm. So I want to retain 1 mm thickness. Just select this, you can see, so equal thickness will be created. Okay, you can see here, select this, you can see 1 mm, 1 mm, 1 mm, 1 mm, everywhere it is 1 mm is created. Okay, that is the use of this shell option. Okay, even you can increase the thickness here with the help of when you can give the inside. This is inside thickness, this is outside thickness. Okay, and here we have some options. Okay, so this will be used to let me, for example, see this here I have created on shell. Okay, but this face is removed, but I want this face as it is, only the inside portion of this should be removed. That means inside should be hollow, outside should be solid. So I select this option. Okay, I'll not select the faces to remove. What I'll do, I'll select other thicknesses, select this option, just give OK. Let me try. Okay, so you cannot see, you cannot say whether material is removed or not. Okay, but the only one option to see this is you can go to sketch, and here you can cut down the section. You can see now it's created. Okay, this is another application of the shell operation. So this is it about shell. It's a very simple option. Okay, and the next option here we have is thickness. This option is used to add the thickness to the part. I have let me measure the thickness from here to here. This is 46.959. I want to add some 5 mm extra. Okay, I'll select this 5 mm, select this face. Okay, you can see 5 mm is added in this direction. Now it should be some 51.959. Okay, this is the option used to add the thickness. Okay, you can select number of faces also to add the thickness. You can, so here in all the directions it will add the 5 mm thickness. Okay, the next option here we have is thread and tap. So this option we have seen, we have gone through in whole definition. So threaded, here itself we have. Okay, so it's threaded, threading, tapping. So all these kind of options we have seen here. The same will be used here. Okay, but so it will create separate tree structure. It will create a thread. Okay, you can see here, but in whole we have only thread option, but here we have tap option also. Okay, thread and tap. What you need to do is just select the lateral face of the hole, then select the limit face. Okay, then give the other which required dimensions, preview. So okay, so like this. Here you cannot see anything, but let me no options here to show the threads. Okay, but here in tree it will create another portion where it shows the thread dimensions. Okay, this is about the thread option, thread and tab. Okay, I have opened one more model here. Okay, just to show these two options, these two dress up features. Okay, the first one is remove face. Okay, so here you can see I have one part here, small part. So here I don't want this fillet. Okay, to remove this face I can use this and I can just click on this, so it will remove that portion. So in some cases you need to select let me remove this face, but I want this face as it is. So it's giving some error because it's linked to some fillet. So when you select both the options, either you need to select all faces. Okay, or let me select the faces to keep first. Okay, these many faces I want to keep, and show all the faces to remove now. It should show now. Okay, so this face it will remove, and again this face it will remove. So now you got only solid, but again these options will be there. This is just another additional option. Okay, so which just actually the faces will be there inside, but still it shows as the removed option. If you deactivate this, you can see here the original faces, original things will be as it is. Okay, this is about remove face. Now here I have one more option. Okay, replace face. Here only two options are there: replacing surface and faces to remove. For this object I have one surface here. You can see this portion. I want to replace this by this surface. Okay, what I'll do, I'll select this surface as replacing surface, and I'll select this as a removing surface. Okay, it's saying some error, that is the object is not defined in current body. This body is somewhere here. I need to right click here and define in work object. Now go here, select this option, this surface, and select the faces to remove. Sorry, this is the replacing surface and this is the face to be removed. It's saying it's too complex. Yes, direction should be reversed. Okay, you can see the entire surface is used to replace the original face. Okay, so like this. This is just to cut the portion of a part. Okay, with the help of surface. So this is about the dress up features in CATIA part design workbench. Okay, hope you understood this. I can show you with some examples in the next session. Before that I'll try to finish. It has taken almost 1 hour 15 minutes. Okay, now I will show these options in the next video, because it's already 1 hour 15 minutes, so it will be boring for you. I'll stop here and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.